Perth-Wellington.
Thank you, Speaker, and I'll be sharing my time with the member from York Simcoe and the member from Whitby, Oshawa. I am pleased to rise today and join in on the debate on Bill 185, the Ministry of Community and Social Services Amendment Act on social assistance and to form a Social Assistance Research Commission, introduced by the member from Hamilton East Stony Creek. Over the last 6 months, I've had the opportunity to learn a great deal about the government's social assistance system. I have heard from individuals receiving support through the Ontario Works and the Ontario Disability Support Program, as well as from agencies advocating for changes to these programs. In my riding of Perth-Wellington, we frequently work with individuals who need assistance navigating the system. Now I hear stories from people across the province. I am interested by the ideas put forward by the member from Hamilton East Stony Creek. I know that a lot of hard work has gone into the premise of this bill over the last number of years, and that poverty advocates in the Hamilton area have paved the way for the introduction of at least one other very similar bill. Bill 185 will allow the creation of a Social Assistance Research Commission, which will be responsible for recommending social assistance rates and social assistance policy ideas. I think that involving the current or past social assistance recipients on a commission of this type is a positive step. Who knows the struggles and needs of individuals receiving social assistance better than those who have been in their shoes? I understand that this bill is intended to remove political influence from social assistance rates. However, I am not convinced that this government in power, that this will be the outcome. Despite the experts who will most likely make up this commission, there is no obligation for this government to implement their recommendations. We need to look no further than the Brighter Prospects Transforming Social Assistance in Ontario report to see that the way this government cherry-picks report recommendations. And Speaker, I have 15 pages of recommendations from that report, and which shows just how this government just picks and chooses as they wish. The Brighter Prospects report was thorough and very well researched. However, even one of its authors has commented that the government has failed to accept and implement recommendations from the report. Why would we believe the government who would treat the recommendations of the Commission any differently? Ultimately, the government can do whatever it wants, commission or no commission. Let's look at this government's history when it comes to helping those in social assistance. For me, the first thing that comes to mind is the $290 million they wasted on SAMs. This new system has caused nothing but problems for caseworkers and social assistance recipients. Just think about how far that money would have gone for those who really needed it. Instead, this government wasted it. They made a decision to go ahead with a system they knew wasn't ready. That's your government at work. The goal is to improve the social assistance system. I believe we need to look no further than the agencies already doing the groundwork who have been making recommendations to the government for years. In Perth-Wellington, we have outstanding organizations with staff who dedicate themselves to improving our communities. We have agencies like the United Way, Perth Urine, our local Perth Health units and their boards, the local community food centre, food banks, churches, poverty action coalitions, and dedicated volunteers in all of these organizations. Many have contacted me to share their recommendations to address poverty and improve social assistance. I have brought these recommendations to the government's attention time and time again, but we have seen little action. All this to say, the recommendations are out there. There are organizations in every community in this province who have shared with the government ways to improve social assistance. I say to the members opposite, listen to them. It seems this government has a commission or panel for every issue under the sun, yet somehow their waste, mismanagement and scandal still runs rampant. Again, I stress, I think the best thing this government could do is listen to the advice they're already receiving. They need to stop wasting money on projects that don't work and actually invest in it in the people who need it. They need to address skyrocketing hydro costs, home heating costs and gasoline costs that are hurting everybody, particularly the most vulnerable in our communities. They need to rethink things like the ORPP and cap and trade plan that will leave families and individuals with even less. A commission could make a lot of good recommendations, but the government already knows what they need to do. We tell them every single day. Unless they decide to act and address these underlying issues, all the recommendations in the world won't make a shred of difference. Thank you, Speaker.